What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I am going over Week 12's Monday Night Showdown between the Steelers and Colts. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen these videos before, what I basically do is go over the players' prices. I talk about the matchups, and then I usually end it by kind of making an example line on both sides. So, if you guys do end up liking the video, just please leave a like and subscribe. That means a lot to me. And let's get right into it. So, first off the bat, there's not a whole lot of injuries that are impacting this game at all. Colts have a few guys hurt. Steelers have a few guys hurt. But it's nothing game breaking. The other thing is we have a couple crazy values on Pittsburgh side, at least. Values overall, but on Pittsburgh side, we got some crazy overalls, especially on Draft Kings. Just going over the top prices. On DraftKings, Jonathan Taylor, 11-4. Michael Pittman, 10-2. Kenny Pickett, Matt Ryan, just under 10K. So only two players above 10K on DraftKings. On FanDuel, price is pretty much where you would expect it on a FanDuel showdown. But the difference is Jonathan Taylor's up here, then Kenny Pickett, then Matt Ryan, then Najee Harris, and then Michael Pittman. Najee's fifth on here, fourth on here, but you get the quarterbacks before on FanDuel and DraftKings, you get Michael Pittman. So, huge pricing difference there. And then you get some wide receivers, Deontay, George Pickens, Paris Campbell, Pat Freiermuth on FanDuel, Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Campbell, Freiermuth, Alec Pierce, the defenses, the kickers, and then we start getting into the values. So, same thing, Alec Pierce, you get Deion Jackson there, actually. The defenses, kickers, values. So, now to the next part, I'm going to go over some of the values. And then we'll go over some of the, the guys that you're getting these values to pay up for. So, going from the bottom, basically, almost, is we have Steven Sims and Gunnar Olszewski down here at $200 on DraftKings. We just had a crazy slate. If you played the main slate, the amount of 5 to 6K running backs that were in play and ended up scoring a decent amount of points was crazy. And now we have a showdown where you have two receivers that are going to be splitting snaps. They're going to be starting for the most part. I'd expect Sims to see more snaps than Gunnar. But at $200, like 4 points. Okay, it's nothing game breaking. Like, who cares? 4 points isn't going to win you a showdown or anything like that. Same thing for Gunnar. You look at him, 5.9. That's not going to win you a showdown. But when you need to pay up, and say you're a person that loves to pay up, you don't like to leave any salary, you want to get as much of this top talent as possible, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes showdowns don't work that way. You're going to end up getting like a Deion Jackson here, Mo Alley Cox, Zach Gentry, Jelani Woods, Pat Freiermuth. Like, some of these guys fill in, and that's pretty much how showdowns go, but trying to make sure that you have those top names, getting two guys with an opportunity to get you 5 points is crazy value. 10 points is crazy. I always say, put it in perspective. So let's say they got 10 points, right? Touchdown and reception, some yards, right? 10 points. That's 5 times, well, more than 5 times. It's pretty big in value. So $200, if he were to get 1 point, that's 5 times his value. If he gets 10, it's 50. Jonathan Taylor would have to put up over 500 points to get 50 times value. That's all I mean by that. I do not mean that you have to play him because he's 200. No. It makes it so he doesn't have to get a lot of points if you want to pay up for all of these guys. Like, you could put it in, and I don't mean to make this take any longer, but look at what that does to the salary. $1,300 average salary. And for only having 3 guys above that average salary, that is crazy. You could fit in everybody there. Just an example of the value. So Sims and Gunner, 2 guys to look out for. Another one, and this is not as enticing to me, Benny Snell at $200 as well. Now, why Benny Snell, like McFarland, also $200? Both these guys, you're going to want to watch the inactive, see who the backup running back is for Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, Warren is out, so it's Harris and then one of them. Same thing. Like, they don't have to get you a lot of points to pay off. And if they, for some reason, get a touchdown, say they get 10 points, there's a good chance you're gonna be cashing. It's gonna be pretty hard if one of these guys at 200 go off. Now we look at FanDuel and it's a little different. So they have Sims all the way up to 7,500. McFarlane 7, Gunner 65, Benny Snell 55. So FanDuel kind of goes with injuries. They see what's expected and kind of do that pricing adjustment beforehand. DraftKings is a lot different with the way they do it. So, yeah, those are the crazy values on DraftKings for Pittsburgh players. Colts, on the other hand, it's kind of rough. So, Granson is doubtful for the Colts. I think that's the only true injury thing we're looking at. Then you get Jelani Woods, Mo Alley Cox, value plays for the Colts. Zach Moss would be, but I mean, Deion Jackson is just, he's 5,000, 11 carries week 9 before Jonathan Taylor comes back and they run the ball. Last week, 5 points. He's just too much on DraftKings for me to consider playing him. The only way he honestly pays off is if Taylor gets hurt tomorrow. On FanDuel, like, 7,500 is not as bad. Like, it doesn't kill your salary. But on DraftKings, paying 5,000 for Deion Jackson is a lot different. Other than that, I mean, there's not a lot of crazy value on the Colts side. Doolin's a guy, maybe get some reps in there. Other than that, there's not a lot. I think what stands out to me on this slate, and I don't like to talk about it, just because I hate that defenses are a play in this. I get it that they're technically a play because they're on the field. A defense is on the field at all times. But both defenses are definitely in play for me. This is a game where I hopefully see it going under. I'm not a huge under guy. I'm usually an over guy. And whenever I do bet under, it tends to go over. So I'm hoping this game stays under. The reason being, both of these offenses are terrible. Overall, terrible. Yes, we saw Pittsburgh just drop 30 on Cincinnati. And yes, we saw the Colts win a game and then almost beat Philly. But overall, they're not great. They're not good. They're underperforming. Pittsburgh gets healthy in the secondary. They get TJ Watt back, who is a game changer. The Colts are getting healthier, especially defensively. Obviously missing Leonard. Got a couple guys banged up in the secondary. You're going to want to watch the Colts' defensive injuries tomorrow and see where that brings you. Pittsburgh is pretty set in stone of who's out and who's in. As far as injury-wise, they're going to have healthy scratches. You always have to in the NFL. But both defenses are on play. DraftKings those are normal defensive pricing. FanDuel, normal defensive pricing. I like both defenses tonight. We've seen how bad the Colts offensive line has been this year. And we've seen how bad the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line has been this year. Both defenses, I think, are the better half of their teams. Obviously, the Colts have been able to run the ball more and run the ball a little more efficient. But, I mean, we're looking at two teams kind of known for their defense, and their defense being the better part. That's why I think both defenses are in huge play for me. So now going over the top names, Jonathan Taylor obviously going to get a lot of volume tonight. Definitely someone you want to have in your lineup. There's, like I said, there's 4 possible plays at 200 to allow you to get Taylor, Pittman, Pickett, Ryan, Harris, whoever you want, it allows it. But Taylor, yes, volume. Nahaji, same thing. Just with Warren being out, Nahaji gets all of the volume. Obviously, he's not going to be in there 100%, but we've seen the last 2 weeks, and these are fairly good teams against the run. 20 attempts, 90 yards, 99 yards. Last week, he gets 2 touchdowns to kind of boast that. He also gets some targets, some receptions, and this is kind of almost in the same matchup. The Colts don't have a great defense, but they're not bad either. I think they're a mid-tier defense. Kind of the same thing of what we've seen with Cincinnati and the Saints. Although the Saints defense is very confusing. One week they look really good. The next week they look really bad. But Colts defense, I think for the most part, mid-tier. And it's the same thing for Pittsburgh. I still think they're the better halves of the team. The offenses are definitely underperforming. Not a lot of skill there. So Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, yes. Like, you want to get the running backs in this that are going to get the volume, attempts, targets, stuff like that. And then you get Michael Pittman, who I think Michael Pittman's definitely a play. Especially on FanDuel, you get that discount on Michael Pittman being below both running backs, both quarterbacks. That's kind of how FanDuel views it, as your running backs are going to be the priority tonight, and the defense is down there. Then your wide receivers versus Draft Kings just goes, hey, Michael Pittman is one of those game-changing guys. Then you get Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. And this is where I say watch the defensive injury news for the Colts. Could have their best corner this year out. In more, so definitely Rodgers, I'm sorry. Rodgers is questionable, so just watch that, see if he's in, see if he's out. If he's in, it's a lot rougher for both Johnson and Pickens. I like Sims Gunner as a value play there, honestly, and I'd probably just take Nahaji and Pickett if I'm going on Pittsburgh's side. If Rodgers is out, or if he's in, if he's out, then yes, Johnson and Pickens definitely become plays for me tonight. Paris Campbell, I'm honestly, it's been long overdue. I was a Paris Campbell guy when he was young in the Colts offense. They didn't really use him. Injuries, all that stuff kind of happened to him, unfortunately. But he's been getting targets. It's crazy when you think about it. He's gotten 12, kind of dropped off during the Sam Ehlinger. It's 11-12, drop off, 9-6. Even 5 in against the Patriots. So definitely they're trying to get him involved. But I think Alec Pierce, just looking at the matchups, has a better matchup. Although he's not getting the targets. Last week he does get 8 against Philly. And that's one of the rougher matchups in the league. Still gets 8. I just prefer Alec Pierce at that price discount to Paris Campbell. FanDuel, it's not as impactful. You're only looking at 1,000, so it's not as different. And then Pat Fairmouth, if you don't play Pickens and Johnson, Fairmouth is, Pickens and Fairmouth are Pickett's top 2 guys. Fairmouth's targets have been crazy. He's competing with Deontay Johnson as being the top target in Pittsburgh. So Fairmouth is definitely a play for me. I really do like him tonight. His price point is exactly where you want it to be. He's that mid-tier, kind of getting on the topper half of pricing. But he's definitely a guy that I want to get in lineups and want to get exposure to tonight. And I mentioned the defenses. The kickers, yes, I'd say the kickers are in play. When you get a lower scoring game like this, teams that struggle to get in the red zone, the kickers are definitely in play for me tonight. So that's pretty much going over everything. So now just make a line and see what we can do. So right off the bat, I want to see. I'm gonna put Nahaji in as captain, and I'll put Jonathan Taylor right below him. I want to see what I could do if I get both defenses in. Let's say I get both defenses. What can I do then? Let's get Fairmouth and see what that does. 91, so we can't get to Pittman. So let's do Pittman 53. We get Pierce, but you don't want that. It's not great. Really quick, I just want to see if you can. So, like I said, I like Sims, so let's put Sims in. Let's flex JT and see if we can still get everybody. Can't get everybody, unfortunately, flexing the most expensive guy. But let's go and do the same thing kind of with Nahaji, and then go everybody. No, it's too expensive. You're going to have to fade one of them. But it is close. So yeah, just to give an example of a line to just throw in for you guys to just take in. I am going to put Nahaji in the flex for right now. I think Jonathan Taylor easily. It's just what you're paying $17,000 for Jonathan Taylor, so you really need him to pay off tonight. Gonna take the Steelers defense. Mention we like Pat Fairmouth here. Liked Alec Pierce, so let's put Alec Pierce in there. We get 85. We can get somebody like Deontay Johnson in there. So we get Nahaji and Deontay and Fairmouth on the Pittsburgh offensive side, Pierce, Taylor, and then Pittsburgh's defense. So that's just an example there. Let's see what we could do on FanDuel. FanDuel, I don't have to worry about that price adjustment, so I want JT definitely in my lineup right now. Pittsburgh's defense, again, we're going to want Fairmouth in there again. Nahaji, that leaves us with 11, and we can get Deontay, we can get Paris Campbell, we can get Pierce, all that work. So, I hope that helped, guys. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. I enjoy making them. Like I said, if you guys did enjoy it, just leave a like and subscribe. And if you guys are interested in joining us, the link for our Discord will be down in the description, where you get fantasy plays, bets, all that stuff that you could want. So I'll see you guys in the next one.